So I'll be walking you through brute force decryption, and we have our given word here. So before we begin, I want to explain what brute force analysis is. So brute force is where you try all possible keys until the correct plain text appears. Now brute force is mostly used for access attacks to crack passwords or crack words, decrypt words which are smaller and simpler. Now, decryption is moving backwards and encryption is moving forward. Now, for this small word that we have here, we will be conducting Caesar Cipher. Now, Caesar Cipher is a simple substitution cipher using a shift. Now, in this case, we will be using shift by numbers. So, we will be conducting a shift from number 1 to number 25 until we get the correct word. Now, since we said the decryption is moving backwards, let's begin. So we will begin with doing a shift by 1. So we will see where our value k lies. So k is here, and before k comes the value j. So that is one step backward. So we place j over here. The next letter in our word is R, and Q comes before R, so we jot it down here. The next letter is P, and O occurs before P, so we have written down O here. And we do the same thing for the remaining letters. So for C, we have B, so we have B over here. For F, we have the letter E. For J, we have the letter H, and so forth. Now, once shift by 1 is done, we can move on to the second shift. Now, we are moving to the second shift because the first one does not make sense. We have to make sense out of our shifting and out of our cipher. So we will do a shift by 2. So a shift by 2 means we will subtract 2 or move back 2 steps. So we have the value k and we will move back 2. So j, I. Now shift by 2 gives us I. R will give us the value p, 1, 2. N is for the letter P. Now we will continue this until we get a proper word. Brute force calculation or analysis can be rather tardy and time consuming. So my group and I have come up with a solution where we have created a HTML file which helps us with this decryption. So this is the file, and it will be pasted along with the assignment solution. So this is the file. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to conduct the decryption. Now, just so you know, we can do this shift manually. However, we thought it was time consuming, so we created a HTML file. So I will just copy paste this. You can also type it out. So I will go ahead, just paste it here. Now, let's say we've done a shift by 1, we've done a shift by 2, and you have seen a shift by 3. Let's say I want to do a shift by 4, and I want to decrypt it. It's still jumbled. Now, it is time consuming to go shift by shift, so I'll be doing 1, 5, decrypting it, which is also time consuming. So I can just click on the brute force button, and I will be shown all the decryption keys. Now, as you can see, from shift 1 to 11, there are no words that make sense except for shift 9, where we can see big in front of the word. Now, we move forward and we check the analysis, and as you can see, on the 17th shift, we have a word, and our word is Taylor Swift. Now, let's look further if we can get any other words. Nope. So these are all jumbled. However, the 17th shift is not. Now, how did this program get the 17 shift? So it moved back 17 keys. So our value k is here, we move back 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. T is our 17th value. Now we have to go 17 keys for each letter, and that way you will get the answer. Now for the next question, we had a few more words for which we also conducted brute force, and for these two we can also use the program that we have created. So let's test this out. I'll do copy, paste it here. Let's do a shift by 1. Decrypt it. Does not make sense. Let me go for a shift by 2. Decrypt it. Still does not make sense. However, let's do a shift by 3 and we get the value. All's well that ends well. Hence, our solution for this sentence is all's well that ends well. Now, you can also take a look and see that there are no other words or no other sentences that make sense. Let's move on and see if we can do this for the second value. The second sentence. Now, I'm going to copy this over here, paste it. Let me perform a shift by 1. Does not make sense. So you can do a shift by 2 and so forth and see how it goes. Now I'm going to press on the brute force and see if we get words. You can conduct frequency analysis for this since it is a larger sentence, and as you can see we cannot make out a sentence up till shift 6. However, shift 7 we get the answer. Now let me make this a bit clearer so you can see. Decrypt. Now it says the strength of the team is the individual and the strength of the individual is the team. Now in such circumstances you may not get the correct word, however you must assume. So we are assuming this word to be as individually. And there is our decryption for the following words.